Nicholas. The letter arrived on a Tuesday. Not an email. Not a text. A letter, thick cream paper, my name written in elegant script across the front. Nicholas, I stared at it like it might explode. Mom was already at work. The house felt too quiet, the kind of silence that makes your thoughts loud. I'd been living in that silence for 3 months now, ever since the divorce finalized, ever since we moved from Dhaka to this small American town where nobody knew us and nobody cared. I opened it. Dear Nicholas. Congratulations. You have been selected as one of 12 participants in the Chrysalis Academy Summer Intensive, a transformative leadership program for high school students interested in theater, media, and creative expression. Your essay on identity and transformation was remarkable. We believe you have untapped potential. The program begins June 10th, full scholarship. Room and board included. We're offering you a chance to become someone new. I read it 3 times. I hadn't applied to anything called Chrysalis Academy. But God, I wanted to. Absolutely not. Mom didn't even look up from her laptop. She was sitting at the kitchen table, still in her scrubs from the hospital, her hair pulled back in a tight bun. She looked exhausted. She always looked exhausted now. Mom, it's a full scholarship. Nicholas, we just moved here. You just started at high school. You need stability, not some experimental theater camp. It's not a theater camp. It's leadership intensive. And I didn't even finish the school year. I have no friends. I have nothing here. That made her pause. She finally looked at me, really looked at me, and I saw something flicker in her eyes. Guilt, maybe. Or recognition. You don't understand, she said quietly. This town, people talk. If you go off to some program, they'll ask questions. About you. About us. So let them ask. Nicholas. I'm suffocating here, Mom. The word hung between us. She closed her laptop. Rubbed her temples. When she spoke again, her voice was different, negotiator mode. If you go to this program, you follow all my rules when you get back. For the rest of the summer. No arguments. What rules? She smiled, a small, unreadable smile. We'll discuss that when you return. Consider it a trade. Your freedom now, for your obedience later. I should have asked more questions. I didn't. The academy was 3 hours north, tucked into the mountains like a secret. The campus looked like something out of a Gothic novel, old stone buildings, ivy-covered walls, a theater with stained glass windows that caught the light like kaleidoscopes. There were 12 of us. 6 boys. 6 girls. Except, were there? On the first night, we gathered in the main hall. Our director, a tall woman with silver hair and sharp eyes named Vivian Ashford, stood at the center of the room like a conductor preparing an orchestra. Welcome to Chrysalis, she said. You are here because you wrote about transformation. About becoming. About the masks we wear and the truths we hide. She smiled. For the next 8 weeks, you will learn to embody anyone. To slip into roles so completely that even you forget who you were. By the end of this program, you will have become artists of identity itself. A boy next to me, tall, blonde, varsity jacket energy, whispered, "This is weird, right?" I didn't answer. Because I was staring at the girl across the circle. She had long dark hair, elegant posture, and the kind of face that looked like it belonged on a magazine cover. But there was something in her eyes, something familiar, that made my chest tighten. She caught me staring. Smiled. And winked. Her name was Isabel. At least, that's what her name tag said. We were assigned as scene partners for the first exercise, an improvisation about strangers meeting on a train. I was supposed to play a businessman. She was supposed to play a runaway. But when we started, she leaned in close and whispered. Do you ever feel like you're playing a role even when you're not acting? I froze. What? Like right now, she continued, her voice soft, almost hypnotic. You're playing Nicholas the boy. But is that who you really are? My throat went dry. I don't know what you mean. She smiled, a knowing, dangerous smile. Sure you do. On the third day, Vivian gave us our first major project. Each of you will create a persona, a fully realized character that you will embody for the next 2 weeks. You will live as this person. Eat them. Sleep as them. Make choices for them. The goal is not to pretend. The goal is to become. A girl raised her hand. What if we're not comfortable with the character? Vivian's eyes gleamed. Then you're doing it right. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Isabel's question. Do you ever feel like you're playing a role? Yes. God, yes. I'd been playing a role my whole life. The dutiful son. The quiet boy. The kid who kept his head down and his secrets buried. But what if I didn't have to anymore? What if I could become someone else, just for 2 weeks, and see what it felt like? I stared at the ceiling. And then I made a decision. I walked into Vivian's office. I want to do something different for my personal project. She raised an eyebrow. How different? I took a breath. I want to create a female character. Fully. Completely. I want to see if I can pass. She didn't look surprised. She looked delighted. Why? Because I need to know if I can. She studied me for a long moment. Then she smiled. Come with me. She led me to a room I hadn't seen before, a costume and makeup studio tucked into the basement of the theater. Wigs on mannequin heads. Racks of dresses. Tables covered in brushes, palettes, prosthetics. Meet Sienna, Vivian said, gesturing to a woman with short purple hair and ink-stained fingers. She's our transformation specialist. If anyone can help you become her, it's Sienna. Sienna looked me up and down. What's your character's name? I hesitated. Natalie. Sienna grinned. Let's get to work. It took 4 hours. Sienna worked like a sculptor, shaping my eyebrows, contouring my face, layering foundation until my skin looked porcelain smooth. She taught me how to line my eyes, how to apply mascara without poking myself, how to blend shadow in a way that made my face look softer, rounder, feminine. Then came the wig, long, dark, wavy. She adjusted it carefully, tucking every strand, until it looked like it grew from my scalp. Finally, she stepped back. Look. I turned to the mirror. And gasped. The girl staring back at me was beautiful. She had my eyes, but they looked bigger, brighter, framed by thick lashes and smoky shadow. She had my nose, but it looked delicate now, refined. She had my lips, but they were full and glossy and inviting. She looked like someone I'd want to know. She looked like someone I'd want to be. Holy shit, I whispered. Sienna laughed. Welcome to the other side, Natalie. Vivian had me walk through the campus as Natalie. No one here knows who you really are, she said. This is your chance to see if you can live as her. I was terrified. But I was also excited. I walked through the quad. Past the theater. Past the dining hall. And no one looked twice. A boy held the door open for me. After you. Thanks, I said, and my voice came out higher, softer, without me even trying. A girl complimented my dress. A professor smiled at me. I was invisible in the best way, because I wasn't Nicholas anymore. I was Natalie. And Natalie belonged here. That night, Isabel found me in the library. I knew it, she said, sitting down across from me. Knew what? That you'd do it. That you'd go all the way. I stared at her. How did you? Because I did the same thing. My heart stopped. What? She leaned in, her voice barely a whisper. My real name is Isaac. I couldn't breathe. Isabel. Isaac sat across from me in the dim library, his eyes locked on mine with an intensity that made the air feel electric. You're lying, I whispered. Am I? She reached up slowly, deliberately, and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. The gesture was so practiced, so natural, that for a moment I doubted everything. I've been living as Isabel for 3 years, she said quietly. My parents don't know. My old friends don't know. The only people who know the truth are Vivian, and now you. My mind was racing. But why are you telling me this? Because you're going to need help. And because. She paused, something vulnerable flickering across her face. I've been alone in this for so long. And seeing you tonight, seeing you become Natalie, it was like looking in a mirror 3 years ago. I wanted to ask 1,000 questions. But the only words that came out were, does it get easier? Isabel smiled, a sad, beautiful smile. Yes and no. It gets easier to be her. But it gets harder to remember who you were before. I woke up as Nicholas. Stared at the ceiling of my dorm room. Touched my face, no makeup, no wig, just me. But me felt wrong now. Like a costume I'd been forced to wear my whole life. I grabbed my phone. 3 missed calls from Mom. 2 texts. How is the program going? Call me when you can. We need to talk about the arrangement. The arrangement. The rules she'd mentioned before I left. A cold feeling settled in my stomach. Vivian gathered us all in the theater for the morning workshop. Today, she announced, we're exploring voices. Not just how you speak, but how your voice shapes the way the world perceives you. Natalie, come up here. My heart jumped. She was using my character name. In front of everyone. I walked onto the stage, still dressed as Nicholas, in jeans and a hoodie, and suddenly felt exposed. Close your eyes, Vivian instructed. Think about Natalie. How does she stand? How does she breathe? I closed my eyes. And something shifted. My shoulders relaxed. My spine straightened. My weight shifted to one hip. Now speak. Introduce yourself as her. I opened my mouth. Hi. I'm Natalie. The voice that came out was mine, but softer, rounder, warmer. The room went silent. Then someone started clapping. I opened my eyes. Isabel was smiling at me from the front row. And for the first time in my life, I felt seen. That afternoon, Vivian pulled me aside. You're doing remarkable work, Nicholas. But I need to ask you something important. Okay. How far are you willing to take this? I frowned. What do you mean? There's a showcase at the end of the program. Parents, sponsors, local press. Everyone performs as their persona. Fully committed. No breaking character. My stomach dropped. My mom will be there. I know. She'll see me as Natalie. Vivian's eyes were unreadable. Is that a problem? I didn't answer. Because I didn't know. That night, I finally called Mom back. Nicholas, thank God. I've been worried. I'm fine, Mom. The program it's good. Good. That's good. A pause. Listen, I want to talk about our arrangement. When you come home. Here it was. I've been thinking, she continued, about what you said. About suffocating. About needing space. And I realize. I've been holding on too tight. I blinked. This wasn't what I expected. So here's what I'm proposing. When you get back, you have freedom. You can go out with friends, explore the town, and find yourself. But you help me around the house with cooking, cleaning, errands. You are present. Not just physically, but emotionally. We rebuild what we lost. Together. It sounded reasonable. Too reasonable. That's it? That's the deal? That's it. Unless. She hesitated. Unless you'd prefer I choose your activities for you. In which case, I have some ideas about how you could spend your time. The way she said it made my skin prickle. What kind of ideas? Let's just say I've been doing some research. About self-expression. About exploring identity. I think it could be good for you. My mouth went dry. Mom, what are you talking about? She laughed, light, airy, knowing. We'll discuss it when you get home, sweetheart. Enjoy your program. I'm proud of you. She hung up. I stared at my phone. What the hell had I just agreed to? The next day, Sienna found me in the costume studio. Vivian told me about the showcase, she said. We need to design Natalie's signature look. Something that tells her story. I don't even know her story yet. Then let's figure it out. She pulled out sketches, dozens of them. Dresses, skirts, blouses, accessories. What does Natalie love? Sienna asked. What makes her feel powerful? I thought about it. Color, I said finally. She loves color. Not just one, all of them. Like she's refusing to be put in a box. Sienna grinned. I have an idea. 2 days later, she showed me the dress. It was a masterpiece. Gradient fabric that shifted from deep purple at the top to soft pink at the hem, with embroidered gold flowers climbing up one side. The neckline was modest but elegant. The skirt flowed like water. Try it on, Sienna urged. I stepped behind the screen. Slipped out of my clothes. I pulled the dress over my head. It fit perfectly. When I stepped out, Sienna's eyes went wide. Holy shit, Natalie. You look like a queen. I turned to the mirror. And my breath caught. The girl staring back at me wasn't just pretty. She was radiant. She was everything I'd ever wanted to be. That weekend, the Academy hosted a formal dinner and dance, part of the program's social immersion training. Everyone was required to attend as their persona. I spent 3 hours getting ready. Makeup. Hair. The dress. Heels that made me 2 inches taller and wobbled with every step. When I walked into the ballroom, the entire room seemed to pause. Isabel was there, stunning in a silver gown. She caught my eye and mouthed, "You look amazing." A boy I'd never spoken to before, tall, dark hair, kind eyes, approached me. Hi. I'm Marcus. Would you like to dance? I should have said no. I should have remembered I was playing a role. But Natalie, I wouldn't say no. So I smiled. I'd love to. He was a good dancer. Gentle. Confidence. We swayed to the music, his hand warm on my waist, and for a moment I forgot where I was. You're different from the other girls here, Marcus said. How so? You're real. Like you're not trying to impress anyone. You're just you. I almost laughed. If only he knew. What about you? I asked. Who's the real Marcus? He hesitated. I don't know yet. That's why I'm here. Something in his honesty made my chest ache. Me too, I whispered. The song ended. But he didn't let go. Natalie. Can I ask you something? Sure. Would you want to get coffee sometime? Outside of the program, I mean. Just us. My heart was pounding. This was the moment I should tell him the truth. But instead, I heard myself say, "I'd like that." Later that night, I found Isabel on the balcony. "You're in trouble," she said without looking at me. "What?" "That boy. Marcus. He likes you. And you like him back." I opened my mouth to deny it. I couldn't. "This is bad, Natalie. This is how it starts. You think you're just playing a role, and then one day you wake up and realize the role is playing you. Did that happen to you?" She finally turned to face me. "I fell in love with a girl. As Isabel. She didn't know the truth. And when I finally told her, her voice cracked. She called me a liar. Said I'd manipulated her. That everything we had was fake." Tears streamed down her face, smudging her mascara. I lost her, Natalie. And I lost myself too. I pulled her into a hug. And we stood there, two boys dressed as girls, holding each other under the stars, wondering how we'd ended up here.